for the players, and then we'll do coach after that.
Oh, and what was it like playing out there in front of your home?
I mean, yeah, there isn't a feeling like it. I mean, you kind of saw the energy that I had, maybe a little bit too much in the first half. But no, the Quad City showed out, and it was just an incredible experience.
For both of you guys, I don't think you guys led by more than 2 until the last couple of minutes. What was it like being in that kind of situation and executing?
Yeah, you know, it's important because we were in a ton of those games last year where, you know, we really weren't making the shots that we've been making. You know, we've been shooting well the last few games, and those are the games you have to grind out with your defense, with your rebounding, with, you know, beating the big guy. They couldn't really stop him, so you know, I'm really proud of the way that we did grind that out. A huge shout out to the crowd. I think that was absolutely huge in that. When Drew hit those threes, it was some of the loudest I've really heard in my college career, so that was special, and you know, I'm proud of the guys for responding.
If you have a better birthday than this.
I don't think so. No, this is number one. This takes the cake for sure.
Peyton, you guys talk about getting better defensively. They came in averaging more than 90 points a game, like 66. I mean, what went well, do you feel like, defensively against them?
I think we made a ton of really good adjustments. You know, their point guard was making a ton of plays, and we tried to get the ball out of his hands. You know, I think coaches did a great job of fixing things, finding their weaknesses, and we really exposed them. And you know, I think there's still things that we can clean up. We gave up 68, and a lot of them, you know, were mistakes that we can correct. So there's a lot of positive things to take away from today, and like I said, just really proud of the guys for the way they responded to, you know, a lot of adversity in that game.
The two of you were involved in one of the highlight plays of the night, the lob pick you made to Owen. How fun was that play for you guys?
You know, I told him right before that, I called the set where it's kind of me and O on the side together, and I told him I'm gonna hit you. Like, I'm reading this, I'm coming off, they're flying at me, I'm gonna hit you. And honestly, I didn't think it was a good pass. He should have had a play on it. I mean, yeah, he called the play, and he threw it up, so I had to go get it. So that's about it. Yeah, we kind of looked at each other after, and we both were pretty hyped, so it was a lot of fun.
Peyton, can you speak to Drew and Sadhu down the stretch, particularly in the press, and obviously Drew hitting those threes late, just how they've impacted the team so quickly, especially as transfers?
Yeah, they bring a ton of energy. You know, Drew knows how to win games. He's been doing that for 4 years in college. So proud of the way that, you know, he didn't play a whole lot early in the game, and then was still engaged in the game. He's engaged in the huddles, and then, you know, comes out, makes huge plays defensively, and hitting those threes. And you know, Sadhu was great. You know, he did what he does. He got used to the speed early in that game, and then by the end, you know, he's making play after play, protecting the rim, just doing a lot of really good things. So I'm proud of those guys, and they definitely contributed to a big win.
What were expectations for the crowd, for the atmosphere? Did it meet or did it exceed? Or what were you thinking coming into here?
I mean, playing in Wharton Fieldhouse, I kind of expected it to be kind of crazy, but I mean, the Quad City showed out, and it was unreal. Just one of the loudest crowds I've played in front of, and I mean, it was just a lot of fun. I'm gonna remember it forever.
Yeah, you know, I think it throws me back to Sioux Falls when we played there my freshman year. Similar to that, but you know, it was a lot closer game, and the crowd absolutely played a huge factor in getting us that win. And you know, I'm not opposed to driving up here every game for a home game.
Peyton, you talked about how you felt like last season you guys learned how to win. How did you see that kind of manifest today?
Yeah, like I said, you know, we weren't making the shots we normally make. I couldn't get much to fall. Josh wasn't getting anything to fall. Price, and you know, the last few games we've been on fire. So when those shots aren't falling, that's when, you know, you find out how good your team is. Because it's easy to win when, you know, we're making 23s in a game, but when we're only hitting a couple, you know, that's when you learn how to grind it out. You have to get stops down the stretch. You have to execute, make plays, make your free throws, and you know, we did make our free throws in the first half. And you know, we're a really good free throw shooting team, and the way that we made 8 or 10 in a row to finish that game, I mean, that's what winning teams do.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll go into questions for Coach.
Fran, can you talk about the adjustment you made late in the game to keep number 8 from getting to the basket? I mean, he hurt you guys on high screen.
He was really hurting us. I mean, he's a terrific player. I've been really impressed with him, Pat, on film. They're doing a good job with how they're running their actions and how they're setting him up. So we just had to try to take his space away. And the only way you do that with a crafty, bullet quick guy like that is you gotta double him. And that's risky because they have pick and pop 3-point shooters, they have screen roll guys. They've got a really good team. They have 7 guys averaging double figures. So we made a decision, we're gonna double him and get him to throw it somewhere else, and then we gotta scramble, and then we've gotta get the rebound. And so he wasn't as effective, and then we also did it at full court. Sadhu was really good up there, and Drew was really good in that sequence, and Price and Peyton and Owen were terrific in that stretch. Because when you extend your defense, you're vulnerable, especially with a team that has that kind of quickness and that many shot makers. So you have to be able to get back if they do, break the press, if they do throw it ahead, if they do hit middle and throw opposite. And a couple times he dribbled into the trap box, which is exactly what you want, because then you bring your defense up, you trap at the 10-second line. When he stepped out of bounds at one time, it was just a terrific job of applying intense pressure without fouling.
Fran, it seems like we've only played 4 games so far, right? But we're always talking about Drew and Sadhu and their ability to impact the game. It really showed late, Drew with the threes, and as you mentioned, the press. Can you just speak to how they just continue to keep doing it and the impact that they made on the team?
Well, I think Peyton said it the best with regard to Drew. I mean, he's the all-time winningest player in that program's history, Morehead State. I mean, they've had some really good players. They won 27 games last year. I've coached at that level. I know how hard it is to win 27 games. You need a guy like him that can engineer a victory. All right? He started slow throughout the summer. He just kept getting better. He just kept grinding. Instead of making excuses, he just came in and studied. Okay, this is all new. Okay, yeah, I'm an old guy, but it's all new. Sadhu relies more on his innate basketball instincts and his length and his athleticism and his skill set. He still is really green when it comes to knowing where to go and what to do. And sometimes he'll just break a play off, and I'll be somewhat upset with him. But he'll say, I flashed because I thought I was open. And you never want your guys to lose that. You want them to think for themselves. And he's really good in those situations. So those guys provide athleticism, they provide toughness, they both can score, and they both can defend.
Defensively, can you maybe just speak to how much putting on a good defensive performance is like scheme versus just like the effort of like just wanting to be a good defensive team?
Today I think it was more effort, especially in the second half. In the first half, we were okay. I mean, I thought we played pretty hard, but we held them to 34% in the second half. It's a really good team to hold to 34%. So you have to be a connected group. And that's what we talked about at halftime. Okay, we have to be more connected defensively. Because I felt like we were going to be better offensively. We don't miss 7 free throws, typically. We don't turn the ball over 10 times. They were uncharacteristic numbers for our team at halftime. And we're still right there. So if we take care of business defensively, make some adjustments, and then execute, and actually we just moved and shared the ball, we were able to score in transition. We didn't really execute our half-court offense very well. But what we did do was attack. And so when you're coming down the stretch, we're in the double bonus. So everybody that gets fouled knows no one he's going to make. He's got 2 shots. And that's a big difference with having to shoot a 1-on-1.
Fran, this is kind of maybe the first game you guys have faced a little bit of adversity, and they responded. What does that say about this team, the way they responded?
Well, I think it speaks to our depth. Josh was not himself. He took a spill in the first half, hurt his wrist, tried to play. He didn't have it, and he's the toughest guy, as tough a guy as I've ever been around. So if he can't go, he can't go. Somebody else has to go. Price was in there and didn't shoot as well, but Price played great. You look at Price, he's a plus 23 for the game when he was on the floor. So he played defense, he rebounded, he moved the ball, he executed, and hopefully Josh's, injury will be taken care of relatively quickly. We'll have to see.
I realized that yesterday you talked about neutral site games and what you'd like to do, what you might do. But obviously there was a hunger here to see your guys and with the local hook. But would you consider maybe a game a year in the state of Iowa elsewhere besides Carter?
You know, Beth and I have talked about that. We obviously love playing in Carver, but we have an incredible fan base over here. We've got an incredible fan base in Des Moines. Peyton referenced the Sioux Falls game a couple of years ago. We've gone up there twice. We've got a ton of fans up north that just respond to our team in a way that's just incredible. You saw how they responded to our guys. They want autographs, they want pictures, they want to high five you. Same thing happens up in Sioux Falls, and I think we'll have a similar experience over in Kansas City with our fans over in that part of the state. So, that's something we can talk about. I mean, I think, from a business perspective, we've got people that will make those decisions. But I think overall, if you were at this game, you'd be in favor of that, obviously.
Fran, Owen just kind of seemed like he was a man possessed out there at times tonight. Did you get a sense of that too, especially with the crowd?
I think when he got his tee, I think he got a sense of it. But he came back and controlled his emotions in the second half and dominated. So there's no question that he was going to play. As I said, practice yesterday, he was gassed. So I felt like if we could get 20 minutes out of him, we could get 18 minutes out. And is it going to have to be in and out, in and out, in and out? We got his second foul on the tee, so I rested him most of the rest of that half. So I don't remember taking him out too much in the second half.
All right, thanks, Fran.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Fran.